Hey, we're recording.
Excellent. I'd like to welcome everyone and open the Bethel Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of September 10th, 2024. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. Thank you. And we'll start with introductions. We'll start with Adam to the table.
Kenny Carson, Commissioner.
Jeff DeRosa, alternate.
Eric Bradley, alternate.
Diane Ryan, Commissioner.
Paul Shanley, Chair.
Judy Grant, Vice Chair.
Douglas Keeling, alternate.
Will Brady, Commissioner.
And joining us,
Commissioner.
and staff joining us this evening.
Dave McCollum, Land Use Coordinator.
Amanda Martinez, Recording Secretary.
Beth Cavagno, Planning Director.
Excellent. And we have no staff online, right?
No.
Everyone's getting on there.
Everyone's here.
And then just for the record, any commission members using their personal cell phones is to reference to Google Drive, which is publicly available. Is not being used to talk or chat in between each other during the meeting.
Yeah.
I also want to welcome the new member, Jeff, who is stepping into the open spot that was on the alternate board. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And let's jump back into the public hearing for ECB Realty LLC 22 Stony Hill Road. Now, do you have anything?
I spoke with the engineer, Dinas Fabricus, today in regards to that. He's asking for an extension to the next meeting. Unfortunately, there was an involved issue with the stormwater management system where it was placed in relation to a property next door, which continued well. So they had to reconfigure a little bit in order to make it work. And so the plans were submitted today. They're under review now by our consulting engineer, Todd Ritchie, and to be able to wrap up the hearing by the next meeting.
All right, so we'll continue ECB Realty LLC 22 Stony Hill Road, continued to September 24th. Okay, we'll move on. NILRA Realty Corp, 165 Grassy Plains Street.
David, could you go to the Google Drive under this address where it says renderings, a folder with rendering. In regards to this application, engineering has been satisfactory to Todd Ritchie, our consulting engineer. I'm going to just say his name a lot because Jeff DeRosa is new and Eric is also a little new, so you're familiar with the terms that we use. We have a consulting engineer. We do not have a town engineer on staff. So SLR Consultants is our firm, and Todd Ritchie, who is a PE associated with the firm, does all the review of projects. Anyways, so he has finalized his review. He's clear for this to be decided by the Planning and Zoning Commission. One thing that was of concern to the commission at the last meeting was when you looked at the architectures associated with the site, it was all a big green building. So if we flip through these, you will see that they've tried to break it up a little bit by the use of brick, different levels.
Nice. That looks great.
This is 165, Jeff, this is 165 Grassy Plains Street, the intersection of Second Lane. If you've already looked, I haven't had a chance to talk to you, so I don't know how.
Actually, I drove by it today.
Thank you. The rear of the property is to be totally cleaned up. Everything removed.
Yeah, sorry again.
Yeah. Main building
That'd be
looked
nice.
like it was in rough shape.
Did they do anything with the left turn only?
Yeah,
Coming out of there?
Yes, they did.
They're gonna add that sign.
They're gonna try to do it.
Okay.
Okay. They're gonna attempt to do it, but they're not guaranteeing that it can be done. Left turn only,
Out of there.
because the width of the road.
Determines, who determines if it's feasible or not.
The police department will with staff.
Right.
Okay.
Does the commission want me to go back to any other slides?
Is
Is that all of them, David?
Yes,
No, that was.
there was 3 renderings.
So that's only, oh, okay, 2 sides.
That's almost like sitting at the light looking at it.
Yeah, this looks like this is from Grassy Plains Street, no, Beth?
Correct.
And they're gonna clean all those trees and all that up. You're gonna be able to see it like that.
Yes.
Yes, it's gonna be much more attractive. That's what
The purpose you will see whatever your decision is in regards to the application, but you will see some language in there pertaining to the existing. And in my opinion, we're gonna require phasing. When I say phasing, it's like, well, okay, you can get a foundation permit, but material, one of us will be out there saying, okay, you want a foundation permit, you want to start building? Well, then let me clean up over here. When, it's a normal process when you go for a building permit.
Mhm.
When someone is doing actually construction, you don't just let them go in there and build a whole building without
Right.
taking into consideration the other nuts of the other activities that are taking place on the property.
They seem
And I've
pretty,
made that clear to them already.
yeah, they seem pretty motivated.
Well, they are very motivated,
Yeah.
but there's still a lot of cleanup that has to occur on
Yeah.
that property.
Oh,
A lot.
but if that's what's going to be the final thing,
Well, that's the
that's gonna
result,
be really nice.
but it's gonna be a lot of work to get.
It'll be a big job. And it'll take a while too.
Beth, those verticals that imitate columns, are those actual, I thought it was that paint, because this is a pre-engineered building.
It's
So for
still
them to construct what appears to be a brick base and brick columns, that's quite a bit of additional expense.
I don't know if it's actual brick. I do know that it was done by the architect on the project. I would assume, and this is an assumption on my part, that it's just facade attached to the, again, I used the wrong terms, but
Veneer or
attached to a butler type building.
Right. Well, you see,
Probably not structural.
No, I doubt if it's
It's-
structural.
It could be a veneer.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it's a significant expense on their part. Because even as a veneer, they need to reinforce the foundation, which I'm sure they calculated. You have the bottom. So they did a good job.
yeah, they really did.
We had talked at last meeting about windows. Did they not want to explore that, just being that it was a warehouse?
Because it was a warehouse, they did not get into windows, no.
Is there any other questions on the board?
Right, I have none.
Somebody bring up sidewalks at some point. And
I know we've brought it
We
up.
did talk about a sidewalk in the front.
We talked about the sidewalk in this front.
Mhm.
I did ask you all to go take a look
Mhm.
in regards to the sidewalk, but I hope, I went and looked again to
I did too,
ensure
yeah.
that I had the right, I was giving you the right information. And that was basically dealing with the grades
Mhm.
in regards to its elevation with Grassy Plain Street,
Right,
and also taking into consideration the other uses that were surrounding that area.
yeah. I was,
I,
go ahead.
you know how I feel.
Yeah.
I equate this with, this is an industrial zone.
Mhm.
This is towards the tail end of Bethel. It
Mhm.
also is heading into the overhead pass for the train station. You know that it will never go past there. The industrial park is associated with this. The industrial park at one point, when it was approved for, a subdivision, had
Mhm.
sidewalks in there. Town of
Mhm.
Bethel chose to remove all the sidewalks. As far as sidewalks being developed there, I don't see any residential development going in there in the near future. So I do not see where a sidewalk is going to entice or encourage someone
Mhm.
to walk along the roadway there.
Right. No, you're right.
The elevations were tough too.
Yes.
Where's the nearest one, or Parloa?
The nearest one is over by the condominiums.
Tandem trails.
Is that what it is? Tandem Trails.
Okay,
Mhm.
And that leads into Parloa.
right.
Right, it's over there.
There is a crosswalk at that light though. At the
Which way?
bottom of Clark Park.
Yeah,
There's a
That's right.
little crosswalk there.
really.
I never noticed
I
it.
can't get one on Route 6, but they have one down at the Clark Park. Okay.
ADA compliant as well.
That was probably part of this subdivision.
That was part of the state project when they replaced that traffic light a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Is it a controlled crosswalk?
Yeah.
They have the button and everything? How many days, I go down there at least 3 or 4 times a week. Have I ever
Oh,
noticed it?
yeah, I have reached there, and I've never noticed it myself.
There's a crosswalk at the top of Judd with no sidewalk beyond 302.
Where is that, Bob?
Where?
Going down 58, the crosswalk where they redid the traffic light at the top of Judd.
Oh, right. Yeah,
There is also a sidewalk along, Milwaukee up there too.
Yeah, but there's not one going down 58. But the crosswalk goes from Judd across 302 to 58.
Beth, forgetting sidewalks, the property across the street from this one, 185 Grassy Plain. I know that was approved for a bunch of the redevelopments last year. Sidewalks was not part of that,
No, it was
approval.
not.
For any of that.
No.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay, so that's, you can
Yeah,
make that decision after you close the hearing.
yeah, I think
You make
we can
these
we can just
decisions pertaining to that.
discuss that more
Well,
Sure.
during our work
during the
session,
work session.
good.
Is there any other commission comments, questions?
Mm-mm.
I'll open up to the public. Is there any public input regarding this application? Seeing none.
Anybody have that online?
Anybody online?
I'm not seeing any raised challenge at this time.
All right.
Guess we get to close.
I will close this public hearing.
Okay. Yeah,
Something before we move on?
yeah, the legal notice for the next one.
And as we get that prepared,
Thanks, Steve.
we'll open up a new public hearing for Bethel 32 Henry LLC at 32 Henry Street, site plan and special permit. Katie, if you want to read that.
To appear August 30th, 2024 and September 6th, 2024, public notice. The Bethel Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing on September 10th, 2024 in conference room D of the Municipal Center, 1 School Street, Bethel, Connecticut at 7 p.m. to hear the following. Bethel 32 Henry LLC for property located at 32 Henry Street for a site plan and special permit to construct a modular building. The property can be found in the assessor's records as map 16, block 25, and lot 28. A link to review the materials can be found on the town's website. The public may send comments via regular mail and email to landuse@betheltt.gov. Parking for the hearing is located in the rear of the building. Paul Shanley.
Excellent. Donald? Floor is yours.
That's me. How you doing? I'm Art Horn. I'm here representing the property owner. That, I'm supposed to bring these to the front door to the
Thank you.
Or what's your address?
52 Chestnut Street
Thank you.
in Bethel.
Thank you.
I did make up a little packet of a summary of what we're doing. I hope I have enough copies.
We can share. We like to go.
It just shows, the A2 survey and the project.
Thank you.
Site plan, elevation of the building, and the details of the foundations that are just going to be set on piers.
Yes, thank you.
I did take a picture of the location, the approximately where the cone is, just so you can get an idea of the site.
Mhm.
We have a 3-section modular building that's approximately 25,000 square feet, single story, that we want to set up in the front of the property for additional sales, office space for the current tenants.
I'm sorry, how many square feet is it only?
It's like 24,000. It changed. It's not quite 2,500.
24,000 or 2,400?
2,400, I'm sorry, thanks.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay, a little different.
it's my first time here, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, no, we're a friendly group.
I wasn't this nervous getting married.
Wow, okay.
Do you want to go through what's on each page of the presentation that you just did?
Well, it just based on the A2 survey that we had done not long ago. You could see the front of the property location, and then the site survey we had done shows the footprint of the building with some parking areas and,
The drainage as well.
you know, we had an engineered drain system for the runoff from the roof. There'll be some plantings, that we're gonna relocate from the property. The other building that have some historical significance from the past owners.
Which one is the new building on here? Am I missing the label?
I didn't put the next page, so that's the A2.
This is,
All right, so this,
existing?
that's where the new footprint would be.
Oh, up here, okay, I got you now.
Yeah. And then I got a copy of the elevation of the building. It currently has those, shakes on there, the vinyl shakes. And then there'll be a skirting that goes around the bottom, either, you know, fake stone or something like that. Or maybe vertical, like siding to match the vertical, you know, the metal building that it'll be near has a vertical imprint on the building siding, so it kind of blends in. And on the other pages, you'll see the trailers, they're on wheels. And it shows the details on the right side of the first drawing of how it goes on like 3 sets of cinder blocks. There's 42 different piers. Either we're gonna pour a concrete pier or just a pad with cinder blocks and set them up.
Is there any plumbing in them?
Yeah, there'll be one bathroom, which runs right, the sewer line, which was done not long ago, runs right along the side of the building.
Sort of city sewer water.
The city sewer is right there. The water line runs right there. Everything is right there next to the building.
And just one tenant?
Yeah, one
It's
tenant.
not being split between.
No, we got several different, there's the main office building. We got a new tenant that needs more office space. So once this is erected and finished, we'll move tenants around to give them the opportunity to a new spot. Especially the building in the front is the moving and storage operation. And she might move in there to keep her out, you know, her office and everything closer to the building that she occupies.
Is there any commission comments, questions? Start on that end, Ken? You got anything?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Spro.
Oh, sorry. I need a little help here.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about 3 trailers being put together. Is that?
Yeah, it's a 3-section modular unit that takes 1 space.
Is it steel?
No, they're wood construction.
Oh,
It's on a
no,
steel
okay.
frame.
All right. I think that would be.
You know, it has conventional vinyl siding on it, windows.
I knew you said
Yeah.
that, right.
It's like office trailer on steroids.
Correct. You know,
Nice.
similar to like the modular trailers that like would be temporary classrooms, that type of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, single story.
That makes sense to me now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Permanent.
A little bit nicer looking.
St.
Yeah,
Mary's.
it's a little nicer looking.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay.
I'll open it up to the public. Is there any public questions or comments? While we're reviewing this. Anyone online?
I'm not seeing anyone with their hands raised, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I have a couple questions I'll ask while we're reviewing this. What's the space used for now? Just parking?
Part of it is grass. If you look. Yeah, so it's, part of it is, it's like millings right now that have scheduled the blacktop, but if you look on the first page, if you go to the first page, you can see here the line that kind of goes through.
Yeah.
So if you take that and cut it in an angle, that's
Is that your?
so that's the grass and the gravel. So some of the grass will be cut out.
Got it.
Then we'll maintain the grass like a courtyard in between the building and the other building. Just the way the buildings are constructed. All right, David has it up here. So if you look here, this is somewhat the old rail line. Yeah, this is basically grass in this area here, and then the compacted millings. So it'll just cut in there because we have manhole with the water line comes through. There's some telephone poles, and then we'll leave a little courtyard in between. Just the way the trailers are set up, that fits that way the best. And then there's access to this other building. This concrete pad has doors, so if that one tenant that occupies this building, they'll be able to go from the office space into the warehouse space relatively easily.
But they have to go outside, right?
They would have to go outside. A covered thing at some point down the road is not, out of the question, so.
But it's not shown in the drawings.
That's a little farther down the road. That's not in the drawings, no.
Okay.
There's a few issues here in the memorandum. They look like most of them are answered.
We need to do that.
David, this is David's application.
These
Which
issues,
memorandum are you looking at? there?
September 9th,
Yes.
looks like most of them have been answered. Is that correct?
Let me pull that up and let me put it up on the screen so that everyone can see it.
There we go. Seriously,
Okay. Can everybody read this? Okay, so I'll just go through these real quick. The commission does have a topographic survey, but we need it in hard copy form. The only version that we have right now is electronic. So I don't know how you could get that to this office, but
I don't understand what you're saying.
so the survey that the commission's received, the property survey, the one that's up on the screen right now, the only version that we have of that is electronic. So we need a hard copy version of that, a paper copy.
Okay, I have that.
Okay, so
I wasn't sure quite what to bring, or I would have, I mean, I don't know what size that, I don't know if that was in the paperwork that I gave back.
Right, so, but the version that is required for the commission is a full-sized original copy.
What do you mean full size? The whole property?
No, so the survey that you produced, okay, whatever the original size was when that was printed. So this,
I have that.
right, so
Okay, I wasn't aware that I needed
Yeah.
to bring that.
that's okay, that's okay. So that needs to be submitted. Let me go back to
Submitted at another meeting or at any time?
submitted at any time.
Okay.
So if you have those at the property or if
I have them in my office right now.
excellent, so bring those into the office tomorrow.
Okay.
And that can be considered addressed for the next meeting. Just to get back to my comments, Ken, the rest of my comments, they seem like they're housekeeping, and for all intents and purposes, they should be, but I'm not an engineer, and the commission's consulting engineer hasn't submitted review comments for this application. The biggest red flag that the commission should consider at this point is that the entirety of the property and the location where this building is proposed to be placed, it appears to be in a flood zone. So there's a section in the zoning regulations that addresses how buildings that are placed in floodplain management areas and floodplain overlay zones should be designed. Our consulting engineer should review that, and if they have any comments, the applicant's engineer should respond to those as appropriate. The other comment that I have is regarding an easement for railroad. I'm not sure if that's platonic or not. I'm assuming it is. I don't know what the language in that easement says, but you just want to make sure that there's nothing in that easement that would otherwise bar that building from being placed there.
There's nothing in the easement. The easement's from 2011. It was a temporary one for construction.
Okay, understood.
I have the original print right here, and it says those outlines are approximate location
Okay,
of the easement. The
okay,
easement consists of 15,800 something feet.
okay.
There's 38,000 square feet in the front of the property, so,
Could you spare a copy of that document for the record?
I can't,
Okay, okay.
well, I have several documents. I don't know what document.
What he's gonna request.
So there is, so if you go back
Well, I'm
to,
looking at item number 6, and it's talking about at least 2 or 3, 4, or 5 easements on the survey.
right. So without having,
I'm just asking which one is
Yeah.
it for.
right. So when this memorandum was written, I was not aware that an electronic version of this survey had been submitted. So, if I were to review a hard copy or the electronic version, I may be able to parse which of those references are for the easement where, a portion of this building would be
Okay.
placed.
All right.
I
don't know.
right. I just want to make
No, I'm
sure
just
that
asking.
the language in that easement doesn't
Yep.
Compromise this building to be placed where
Yep.
they want to place.
Okay.
That's why I
I
have
hear
that there. The-
This is the document, the survey from the state. And right here in this area, I've marked it, the location of where the building will impact this corner here. And it clearly states the limit of proposed access easement. This is proposed. The easement needs to consist of 15,878 square feet. This is the property line here. There's ample room for this easement, to still be able to be used. Because you have the sewer easement, there's an easement for, Terra Holding and the state. So a small portion of this is gonna be affected by the building, where I don't see that being a concern.
Yeah, and not to dwell on this any longer than absolutely has to be.
You see that, this line I drew.
It may be easier to look it up on the site plan, so I'm gonna zoom on,
May I take this?
if everyone can see my cursor, however small it is on the screen. The small portion where my cursor is right now, that's the corner where,
Right here.
that's right. That's the only portion of the building that appears to be in any access easement on this.
In this detail here with the plantings and everything, this is just something I had drawn that the engineer had taken, aesthetically, so it's pleasing coming down the road. If you go down Henry Street, it's not the most attractive road at this time. That unit could be removed. I might even consider that on the ease of plowing, because I plow myself at times, that would just be a headache, so.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I believe the zoning requirements or the zoning regulations would require that island to remain.
Okay, well, when we're talking about the easement, it's this small portion here.
Sure.
And again, it says here, these are approximate access easements for a construction project for the bypass rail on the main line, which is in the back of Shepherd's, which has been completed, a long time ago. We also have an easement in the back of the buildings, all the way at the end. so that the workers can occasionally come and get to the rail line.
You said this was a temporary easement?
The documents, I have a big pile of them, I can go all the way through, but this is from like 2012 or something.
Yeah.
If the commission was to consider, aerial photographs that were taken in the past, this, the area of this easement may have been purposed for a siding that serviced a Butler building on the property.
No, not correct.
That's not
No,
correct?
there was originally a siding that went through there that's all been removed. The
Right,
current owners have decommissioned any rail lines inside the property. The only siding we have is on the main line.
right, I understand, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So, but that's where that easement may have, or the location of that easement may have been sourced from.
What I'm getting at is if it was a temporary easement and it's since expired, then it's a moot point.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Then it's not even.
When they were building this other siding years ago,
Yeah.
this was all cleared and they used
They
it
needed
for
it for
years.
access.
They
Right.
used it for years. They still have access so they can get to switches and whatnot, but,
Right.
and in the back, but this was part of a big construction project.
Even with this
The property
here,
line is over
you
here.
still can, you can still back a
Yeah.
triaxle through there.
But it's still,
It's,
So-
the trailers are still gonna access that building.
Yeah.
Tractor trailers on a regular basis.
it's wide open at the road
Yeah.
and this is the widest point is what Art's trying to say. So if it had to be shifted or they needed to get in, there's still access. They're not blocking off the path.
Understood. If we can just get back to, my comments, the items 4 through 6, just so you two know, the memorandums that I write, they're provided for the commission's benefit. I give them to you two as a courtesy, so that way you can have some notice of what the commission may ask you as part of your presentation. So that's why I addressed it to them. And really the remaining 3 items, 4 through 6, they're just questions for the board to consider in their discussions amongst themselves or for the applicant. The only other thing I would have to add is, like I said before, we don't have engineering comments. You also don't have comments from the health department or from public utilities. So I would advise the commission to continue this public hearing until such comments are received.
So, bear with me, I'm new to this. So I submitted this in August and here we are a month later. I went to see the health department, paid them their check. What comments, I'm trying to understand what we're getting from them, and how long does it take for an engineer to comment on a project?
I can't say,
I'll answer that if you don't.
sure.
Only because I have more experience with it. You submitted that in July, right? When did you?
August.
No, in August, when you were on vacation.
Yes.
Okay. From that time till 9, till today, we've had, there've been other
Oh, I understand.
questions and things like that. It is not unusual for the engineer to not have the comments ready for the first time due to, some unforeseen circumstances, mostly pertaining to the August 18th storm.
Oh, yeah,
We have all been tied up in other matters pertaining to that area. So, I would tell you that I know that I would speak to the engineers, that, they're aware of it, they should comment very shortly. And as soon as David gets them, he'll forward them to you. I cannot speak for who else did you refer to?
health department.
Yeah, health department and public utilities.
Okay, as far as the health department is concerned, health department was probably referred to the health department for garbage. And I think I might have mentioned that to you when you.
I don't recall.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, and we
Okay.
haven't heard from the health department.
No.
I can't speak for them. And the other department is public utilities.
That's correct,
Well, why public utilities?
because there's a water connection to the building. Water is because there's a bathroom inside the building.
Okay. It's not, I mean, the property is serviced by sewer and water,
That's correct.
and the only purpose of this building is to serve as a bathroom.
No, it's the building.
I mean,
is-
not the building, but you understand what I'm saying. They're just running a line
Correct.
for a bathroom. Not to use the water for any kind of industrial purpose or anything like that.
I mean, that's.
No, it's, you know,
Have a bathroom and a sink and
yeah, that,
a new connection wherever.
Well, that should be an easy, and you haven't heard from Tom?
I have not.
It doesn't have to go to the public facilities.
No, I wouldn't think
It's just
so.
a simple sign off.
That's correct.
So I wouldn't worry about their, whatever Tom's gonna have to say.
No, I wouldn't either.
Engineering, yes, absolutely.
Right. And that would be the biggest reason why this commission would keep.
And the health department, I
Paul,
don't,
Yes,
so we're gonna have to continue this no matter what.
yeah, this is gonna be continued to our meeting in September 22nd.
24th.
Oh, 24th, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Do you have larger,
I can get, I don't have, I was gonna go to Staples and print out giant ones for everybody, but
we don't need it for everybody.
you know, watching the YouTube videos, I didn't think you had the space on the table for all that.
I just don't-
Yeah, I watched when you lay them out. I mean, whatever you need, I'll get.
Because David can put them on the screen.
Yes, yes, they should have most of those documents up there already.
Yeah, and let me put it to you this way. We have the original full-size hard copies of everything save the survey in our office.
Okay.
And
There you
if, for any commissioner that wants a sheet of any of the full-size hard copies, let us know. We'll have them prepared for you whenever you want to pick them up. Right, so those are the
Those are the
architecturals.
ones. Yeah.
These are the drawings.
And then the other sheet set is the engineering.
the site plan engineer.
That's correct.
Okay, so you need the A2 survey
That's right.
in the full size.
Yes.
You'll have it tomorrow morning.
Hey, are we good on the parking?
That's.
It's like 13 spaces. is that
Right,
correct?
so, the way the regulations read,
Every 200 square feet, you
Right.
need one parking spot. We came to 12.16. I spoke to David. I said, do I round up or round down? He said, round up, and that's why we have 13.
you round up. So, I referred to section 6.2, which regards parking. And if you were to categorize this as a general office, which I would believe this would
I
fall
think that's-
under.
Yeah,
Or if there is some kind of retail element to this as a retail store, either way, the parking requirements or the ratio is the same. So one space per 200 square feet of gross floor area. And it's prorated, so for anything that's larger than 0, you round up to the next whole number.
Does the building have stairs to access it or is it right?
there'll be stairs in the courtyard to access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no like wheelchair ramp though.
No, not unless it's required.
Oh,
Paul, I have a comment.
Sure, Bob, go ahead. Floor's yours.
When the engineering report becomes available, the applicant will be made aware of that, I'm sure, right?
can you repeat your question, Bob?
When the engineer,
When the engineering report on this becomes available, the applicant will get a copy of that.
Absolutely, of course. If it can be forwarded to the same day, Bob, absolutely, of course.
Okay, just so, you know, he seems to be new at this, what the process is, and he's trying to work his way through it. So we'll
Right.
try as much as we can.
Right, of course. And this is their first time coming before the board, so, they're not entirely familiar with the process. You know, if there are any questions that they have, they've forced this office on them and we'll be as communicative as we can. Whatever reports we receive, they'll get sent off as they need to be.
I was hoping to be digging dirt tomorrow.
One other question that I have, did you mention the trailers are on wheels?
Yes,
Okay.
they're modular buildings.
Are they permanently on wheels or is there anything else to keep them in place?
No, if you look at my handout, it'll show you the detail of the wheels and set on what it's showing in the drawings from the manufacturer is sits on 3 courses of cinder block.
Right.
Or I don't know if we're gonna pour concrete piers or
Excellent.
pour a slab and set the cinder blocks on them.
Excellent. I just wanted to make sure it was clear that the portions will be permanently fixed. That's all.
The building drawings that I gave you are from the manufacturer of the
Yep.
building,
Got it.
and they're detailed for everything, and
Got it.
hopefully they sail right through the building department.
Okay, but at the same time, I'm sorry to bring this up, but if you're dealing with putting something like this within a flood zone, we have to have more detail as far as
Attaching it to
the openings. You know, you can't, I'm just letting you can't just say, well, we're gonna put it on blocks. Well, how high are the blocks? What are the openings? Things like that. All that information comes into play.
right,
You're
I
in play.
understand,
Okay.
and that needs to become before you all, or is that a building department?
Right, so that'll be, because this is in a flood zone, or the structure appears to be placed in a flood zone, I imagine the commission's engineering consultant will have a comment on it. And that'll be forwarded to you, and your engineer should know how to answer that question. They'll look up the section that's put into that in our regs, which I make reference to in my review comments. And however the structure as it was designed needs to be modified, your engineer should make those recommendations and have the building be modified as necessary. And then those revisions will get brought back to our consulting engineer to confirm that they comply.
The final determination is usually done with the building department
Right,
and
Right.
with me,
right.
just
Okay,
to verify the calculations used as far as the flood openings and things of that nature.
What do you mean by flood openings?
We'll discuss that
Okay,
offline.
okay.
Is it also like the height? You know, if it's gonna be 12 inches off the ground, 36 inches.
Well, that's what, that's the openings.
Right.
You know, they're talking about concrete,
Yeah.
cinder block versus,
Yeah.
what, I don't know what the other.
Concrete piers, solid
Concrete
piers.
piers,
like
things of
sonotube.
that nature.
Yeah.
Sonotube or
And-
beam they all sit on.
And it's just something that, you know, it's more technical in nature.
And of course, when we do that, I've set trailers up in the buildings and everything.
Yeah.
We always, adhere them to, like, I know I've set temporary office, trailers up at Trackwell. And we always took metal banding and crisscrossed and strapped it down
Mhm,
to the track.
mhm.
Because even though it's not exposed to anything, you're still gonna get movement. So there would be provisions made to make sure it didn't move. Or get up and float away.
Perfect.
Any other questions on the commission?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
To just circle back to the easement right away. Are we gonna be provided the legal instrument that has the language about the easement?
that's what I had asked for.
Yeah, I'll get
That's
that.
one of the items. Okay, thanks.
Anything else? Anyone else? Bob, you have any questions?
I'm good.
I'll ask one more time to the public online. Anyone have any questions? Seeing none. So we're waiting for some commission or some engineering comments and health department comments,
And public utilities.
public utilities. And then just clarification on the easement. And then, so we'll continue this hearing to the September 24th meeting. Guys will be here, same time, same place.
See you then.
Okay, well, so you need this picture, do you want this picture or?
If you'd like
Yeah.
to submit it for the
File,
record, we can
sure.
put it in there.
Here's the item here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So just to get clarification, engineer comments, you're looking for engineer comments from yours, not mine.
From ours, that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Have a good night.
See ya.
We'll move into our business meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of our
Oh,
last
no, we have
meeting?
to see someone from like.
We do have to see someone from Mike. See Doug Cooney.
Yeah.
From Mike Kozlowski. All right. Now moving to the business meeting. Everyone had a chance to review the minutes from our last meeting on August 13th, 2024. Yes,
Motion to approve the minute.
Second.
There you go.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Motion passes. Invoices. You have one?
Yeah.
$1,039.60. Is that for public noticing?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to pay the News Times $1,039.60 for public noticing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
There you go.
Any abstentions? Motion passes. Work session. You want to move into the NILRA Realty Corp., 165 Grassy Plain Street, site plan and special permit? Anybody have any topic of discussion for that? Feel like you're gonna say something about it.
No, I was hearing the voices. I was gonna go shut the door, but
Oh.
I stopped.
I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the changes they made are good changes.
Yeah, they were listening to what we were
They
saying.
listened to what they said. I like it. I appreciate the changes they made to the parking lot. It was a good compromise of more parking, still keeping the area to back the trucks in.
And to the building.
Couple of nice
Yeah.
cherry trees
Listening to
up
what we were
front.
saying.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good improvement to that area.
Far better than what's there.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would love to see the sidewalks added, but I understand why it's not feasible, and we haven't required it to anyone else in that area, so it's,
Especially after the train track. Before the train track would be something different. Because there is some sidewalk.
This is before the train track.
Before- Oh, I'm trying, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. No, you're right.
In order to, is it right if I
But
do
that-
a couple of references, in order to give you a little bit of more comfort? Just visualizing the street, animal welfare. Animal
Oh, that's
welfare
right.
did a
That's right.
redo of their
I'm
building,
sorry.
major addition, major
Mm.
improvements, no sidewalks in the front.
It's the other side of the street.
A couple of years ago, before that, welding, Garzetti
Yeah,
Welding,
take it
they
away.
came in for an expansion of their building,
Right.
no sidewalks in front of there.
Yeah.
And, that's all I can think of off the top of my head,
Yeah.
going down the road.
Now, the sidewalks that are there are on the other side of the street.
Correct, where the residential
Where the
properties
residential
reside,
properties are, not where the,
starting with the
industrial
condos.
properties are, right?
I guess I imagine a scenario in which those projects did add sidewalks, right? And then we'd be in a different place talking about
Yeah,
this development. So for
Correct.
me, I always think about, why not start? Because it's
Because-
something we're gonna regret or be
We've
glad.
done that before.
I don't know, just,
No.
just
No, you're
whatever
right.
you
No,
want.
you're right.
It's a legitimate concern.
I just
No,
think,
that- that
over
is
the course
true.
of time, it's a reason that we use to justify not asking for them now. But had we done it for previous projects, maybe would feel like a no-brainer. So,
But
Agreed.
we've sat here with this commission and
Yeah.
spoke same words that you said.
We can make it
You know,
possible.
that you don't have it here, but this could be the beginning. The start of something big.
Yeah.
And it could be.
I'm on board with that if the rest of the commission feels that way.
what's the harm? The harm is that it incurs a greater cost to the project, or
And again, I'm not a engineer, but I believe that when I went and looked at the property itself, if you were to install a sidewalk there, you're talking about having a change in elevation. So
Yeah.
you probably, for the length of the property, you would have to probably put in some type of a retaining wall
That's right.
in order to accomplish what you want to do.
Mm.
And then going to the next step, your intersection with Second Lane, in order to make that ADA compliant and intersect with Second Lane. I think there's a
Mm.
hole there maybe or,
There's some drainage, something or other going on.
Yeah.
or there's drainage on the corner itself.
Corner
Um,
itself.
I mean, it is very complicated.
I do think in that
And
area,
I don't, please, I know you don't know me very well, but I do believe in sidewalks to nowhere.
Yes.
Because eventually they
Yeah.
are connected. But
Uh-huh.
in this particular area, considering the industrial uses, I was willing to let it go.
I do,
Only because the town is the one that set the first example.
Yeah.
And that's going back to the original approval of the Clark Park
Of Clark
subdivision,
Park, right.
which I wrote. And it required sidewalks on one
Right.
side of the street and that whole
I
entire,
remember.
and then the town took it upon themselves
To say
to
no.
say, no. After the subdivision was approved,
So there's no sidewalks in the entire
No.
Crosby Park?
No,
which were required. To this day, I don't know how they were removed from the subdivision.
why?
I do think in that area though, it'd be more appropriate to have sidewalk on the other side of the street, which has nothing to do with this project.
Mhm.
Because that's where the ones
Where
end from,
Okay.
like the condominiums.
I hate to argue with you, but it's impossible to put the sidewalk on the other side of the street due to the, there's a brook there, the swamp is there. The swamp constantly overflows on Route 53. So it's impossible. It's horrible over on the other side.
Further down there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the sidewalks in front of Tandem Trail because those people can turn around and walk back toward town.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Where?
Tandem trails, the condos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that our only- As far as everything else on, on the site plan, is everyone else okay with
Just about,
Yeah.
our only talking point right now is the sidewalks?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine with
I'm personally fine with waiving the sidewalks on this
Mhm.
particular property. Just given that there's new developments all around it, new sidewalks have not been required anywhere else. Hopefully none of those new buildings are gonna be getting torn down anytime soon that are gonna need new development and sidewalks, so.
I'd say there's also limited value. Like, where can you go?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're gonna make the train trestle, you're gonna cost a fortune to get this type of stop at the train trestle.
And I was just mentioning the crosswalk earlier, just because I think it's funny that the state put one there.
Put one there,
There's no
but there's
sidewalks.
nothing anywhere to go anywhere.
I'd be okay approving it as it is without sidewalks.
Consensus?
We got a
You wanna get a
consensus that's
consensus?
to, make a resolution?
Well, if, consensus for yes? Everyone?
Is this just
Yes
about
to
the
waive.
sidewalks?
You have
Is
other
this just
questions?
about the sidewalks or the whole?
Sidewalk.
Just,
Well, I have a consensus of yes, but, I think it's well that we have included in that, any approval, best concerns about doing this in a phasing in type, process so that the property does get cleaned up as they go along.
I agree to that.
I agree.
The phasing process, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Beth, you're right, put in the resolution.
there was, something, mentioned about tree clearing and cleaning it up. Obviously, they have to clear the trees where the addition's gone, but there is a specimen tree right there on the corner. Is that being saved or is that, I don't know how close the addition gets to that tree.
it's pretty far away.
It looks like it's pretty far
Yeah, I
away,
think so. I think
but
it
it's
is.
a really nice mature sycamore or something. I don't know. Right on the corner.
I'm trying to visualize
I
it.
can't visualize it.
Well, across the
On,
street.
on Second Lane,
No, on Francis Jake.
on Francis
Is it-
J. Clark.
Yeah, I
Is
think
it
it's
worth
far
bringing
enough
up on
Is it
away.
on their property or is it on our property?
You need a surveyor to determine that.
Pretty close. I can't imagine it taking it down. It's out.
Or it'd have to show up on the survey. It wasn't on the survey.
It wasn't on the.
No, it's
survey.
not on. the survey.
Only in subdivision do we have to have the
Trees.
mandatory tree. I forget what the caliber is off the top of my head.
Across the street, they took out like 5,000 trees.
Okay.
From where?
The project across the street.
Across the street from here?
Yeah.
165.
185.
The burn effect.
The Burndy. The whole hill,
Oh, well,
the rolling hills.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Um, Can you go,
Yeah, I
just
was,
to look at it?
I was gonna ask if you wanted to be doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah, bring it up.
Okay,
That one.
so this is, this one right here?
Yes.
Is that cottonwood?
Let's see if I can
Ask
get
them.
any closer.
Yeah, that's looks like it's in the car.
Okay, got it.
On GIS, it's close to the lines, but I know those are GIS lines.
Yeah, it's 800 feet or more. Pull back a little bit, David.
Oh.
You know, what, I'll look at the surveys. Because we do have a survey of this piece here, where the Clark Park
Good
site
point.
is.
I don't think they take
Mhm.
that. It's still.
No.
You know,
But I
Looks
mean,
like
I
it's
don't
far
think
enough,
it's
but
going effective, but we'll make a point of,
You guys usually
Thank
go
you.
crazy though.
looking at it.
Yeah, they do.
Make sure we put some,
Get it out of
No,
there.
it says
make sure we
good.
put save,
Bethel's notorious for that.
approach you guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
All right.
All right, so we
Good
have a
point.
consensus for yes with phase.
Did we have to say something?
Yes.
No, we're just,
Okay.
there's no sidewalks on
Right.
the site plan.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
do you have your consensus, Beth?
thank you.
New business, Tim Draper, 9 Putnam Park Road, 830G, affordable housing, 6 units. David, you're running point on this?
I am.
And I will just, for the record, I am recused.
As am I.
As am I.
It's gonna be a little bit, should I leave?
It shouldn't be too long, but if you
Guys,
want to
I
remove
would
yourself from the dais, I can.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I would,
I'll step away.
please step away, both of you. That's the rule.
Okay. So I've been playing catch up on this because I have been out of office on vacation. But in that time since I've come back to now, I've had a few discussions on this modification application with council. They have advised that even though the only item that has been submitted that's new to date in terms of site plans is the sheet that's in the Google Drive for tonight's meeting. Council has advised that the commission accepts this modification application and schedule a public hearing to open on September 24th, the commission's next regular meeting. Okay. There are some things that may come into play before the public hearing opens. There are 2 items, if the commission considers or recalls their resolution denial, the 2 reasons that were listed in that. One of those regarded the septic system and comments from the health department. The other was the need for an application to be submitted for regulated activities to the Inland Wetlands Commission. Okay, so there's some clarification that needs to be provided to this office from the applicant regarding those 2 items. They're to mine and council's knowledge, they're working on those now, and the applicant's council will get back to us. Assuming that they'll get back to us before the 24th to give us an update. But the commission's council is recommending that the commission accept this and schedule the public hearing to open on the 24th.
Okay.
I would make that motion to accept this and schedule the public hearing for the 24th.
Second.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
You gotta see some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul and
And
Doug.
Doug was seated for,
Oh.
seated
So,
for,
so you'd have to set
you have to
Eric
see-
and Jeff both. would come.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, then I'd like to see Jeff and Eric. Right now. Okay,
Thank you. Amanda.
thank you.
Okay. And the other thing that, that staff would request the commission do is, have the application forwarded to, all the referral parties, engineering, health, utilities,
All the parties.
right, as appropriate. Obviously, it's, this being a modification application, you're not starting from scratch. Everything from the previous application gets bundled into the record for this. So, their reviews would piggyback off of comments they've already provided and documents that have already been submitted. It's, their comments would just pertain mostly to what's new.
No. Is it going to go to inland wetlands too?
That was one of the reasons that, that the commission listed in their resolution
Yeah,
denial.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right.
So we are looking for feedback from the applicant and or their counsel regarding that.
Before the 24th.
That's correct.
No, excellent.
Is there something in the Google Drive, a new thing?
Right, so the only sheet that the commission has at this time, it's a PDF of a site plan titled alternate 8-30G plan, and that was prepared by Stephen Trinkus of Trinkus Engineering LLC. The date on that is July 26, 2024.
July 26th.
Yes, that's correct.
Mhm.
Okay. And there are some logistics that also need to be hashed out with timing. We can dive into that more at the next meeting on the 24th. Okay. Does
Sounds
the
good.
commission have any other questions for us at this time?
I don't have. Ken?
Nope.
Diane? No?
I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we had added a request to have the wetlands overlaid. Is that gonna be included in this?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I had added a request to have the drawings overlaid after the refusal
Over,
from the applicant's
Mhm.
engineer to submit that.
I'm not sure I'm understanding your question.
Kitty, I think we ought to just move this forward without much more discussion about it until we get into the new public hearing.
Well, I think Squirrel's question is a good.
I can take this.
I think it's a good question, but I think
Premature.
we don't wanna-
Until the
That-
24th.
That may make sense at this time, Sproul. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, all right. So therefore, there were no other questions from anyone?
We voted, the commission voted to accept,
I
right?
only heard
We didn't-
Bob. I
we didn't
didn't,
actually
there was,
vote.
yeah, there was no actual
We didn't
vote
get
on
it
that.
because we had.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
we're waiting for the discussion and the questions first. Okay, now all in favor?
all right.
Abstain? Or no, excuse me. Oh, God. No, voting no. Abstention? Okay, motion passes. Okay, so we'll do this on the
Who's
24th.
second?
Somebody, I'm waiting for somebody. Somebody second it? Thank you, Karen. Okay. All righty,
So this one's gonna work.
on the 24th. Everything goes as it should. There we go.
You'll have to watch those. Other videos.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, moving on to correspondence. Do we have anything?
No, you don't.
Do you have anything in the planners report?
Lots of water.
What's the what?
Water
Water?
from the storm.
Oh,
Lot of water, departments working with, residents. We've had good communication with the first selectman. The first selectman is authorized using the services of our consulting engineer. And, so we've been trying to do our best to work with people, and hopefully there will be funding available for reimbursement of some of the expenses associated with the storm. Bethel's very lucky. I felt we were very, very lucky during the storm compared to other towns.
Oh.
But we did find that there were some issues throughout the town, and we're just working on that.
excellent.
That it? Sounds like that. We'll move on to public input. Anyone online have anything? Seeing as there's no public here.
BJ's there and
Okay, so guess no.
Yes, no. Um, I'm sorry, I skipped over commission comments. Any commission comments, anything?
I think that storm, Paul,
Go ahead, Bob, the floor is yours.
I think that storm was a good indication of why we have to be very careful about how we handle a lot of these instances, applications of, what their drainage plans are, et cetera, et cetera. And I think, some of the reasons we don't have a lot of the problems some of the other towns are is we are so meticulous about it. Thank you.
You're absolutely right, Bob. You're right. Absolutely.
Anyone else? I have one thing that I'll, hit right before we close. I know we discussed, having a discussion on TOD today. Obviously that is not happening, in discussions with staff. They've been overwhelmed with the work from the storm, have not had, appropriate time to put anything together for us, so I didn't feel it was appropriate to even have that discussion tonight. That being said, the first meeting in October, I don't know the date off the top of my head, please.
That's gonna be October.
October 8th. I'm asking now to put it on the agenda. We're gonna have a public discussion on the TOD. Staff will put together a little, presentation about the state of TOD, the changes we've made. And we can talk to any public that comes that night or, any commissioners that have any questions, concerns, comments. we can- Ideas, that we can get this, I know we've kicked the can around about it, but we're putting a date and we're just gonna do it and we're gonna stick to it. With that, I will, if there's nothing else from the commissioners, this meeting is closed.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's go. Good night, everyone.
We get to go